Welcome to Porchlight, a presentation of Porchlight VNA and home care, providing first-rate, highly personalized, short, long-term care to thousands of individuals in Berkshire County and also in the hill towns of Hampden and Hampshire counties, all in the comfort of their own homes. And when it comes to providing quality of care throughout the continuum of care, there are several different ways of doing it. Sometimes it is within a facility atmosphere, sometimes it's in home, and sometimes patients have the opportunity to receive care in all levels of the continuum of care. So that's why it's important for different organizations to be able to partner together and provide levels of care and make sure that we reduce hospitalizations, which is a very important thing right now especially. So I'm very happy to welcome to the program a pair who are working together. Chaffee, who is the president and CEO for Porchlight VNA and Home Care, based in Lee, but serving all of Berkshire County and beyond. And also we have Bill Kittler, who's the administrator for, let me get this straight, it's Kindred, Great Barrington Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. So a slightly different name now than it once was, but still great, same service. So the two of you, welcome to the program. It is great to have you.
Thanks, John. Good to be here.
So you have the nursing home side of things and then the home care side of things. And typically, you look at this situation, and often when you have a higher level of needs, sometimes perhaps for rehabilitation, Bill, you provide rehab, and then what happens is that individual or those individuals will go home and they'll still need a high level of care. So that's just one example of where Porchlight and Kindred of Great Barrington would be working together.
That's right. Typically we'll see somebody from a hospital who needs skilled nursing level of care come to us, and once we've gotten them back to their baseline originally or close to it, that's something that we want to work with Porchlight to make sure that when they do go home that they land safely, and we will communicate those needs to Porchlight, and they'll accept the patient and make sure that when they get home that they get to full level of function and they can resume their daily routine in their home. And that's something that we all want for everyone in the community.
And I think that's important, Holly, to recognize that, hey, people are not always able to go straight home, even from a facility, even with great rehab, and be able to just simply get back into the swing of things. There's activities of daily living that they have to do in their home. So sometimes the best time and the best way to make sure they can do that is actually within that environment.
That's correct. And we receive patients, sometimes directly from the hospital and provide the rehab at home, but some patients really need that daily rehab, which can be provided by Kindred Care in Great Barrington, where they have intensive rehab therapy, which we can't provide that intensity at home. So our visits are maybe 3 times a week for physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. And so once they come out of the rehab facility, we collaborate with Kindred Care to make sure that we're following up on the plan that they have set up for the patient. And we're both very conscious of the patient-centered care, and what we want to make sure of is that what's being taught to them in the facility is carried through to the home, and that we can do the home evaluation and make sure that the patient's goals are set. So for example, if a patient's goal in home care is to get to their son's wedding 2 months from now, we want to make sure that we're able to follow through with that. And we do that in baby steps, like, okay, we want to make sure you can get to walk to the mailbox, or we want to make sure that you can transfer in and out of the car. So a therapist sets up those individual goals with the patient based on what their needs are. And so we'll work with Great Barrington Rehab to make sure that the plan is followed through.
Yeah, and just so people know, now typically people would refer to your facility as Great Barrington Rehab.
That's right.
But there's been a little bit of a switch there from the home office, so to speak, to make sure that the Kindred is, because Kindred is a pretty cool name, to have.
Yep, we were branded along with all the Kindred nursing homes and skilled nursing facilities and hospitals this past year. So now we're Kindred Nursing and Rehabilitation, Great Barrington. And we have a brand new sign out in front of our building to reflect that. So it's already caused a little bit of confusion in the community, but we're going to stick with it.
But that's why we're here today,
Yes.
to tell people about it. So on your little lower third there, it'll say Kindred. And I think also, what it does is indicate that there is a network
Yes.
of your facilities, and that includes in Great Barrington and also one other facility in Great Barrington. And then there are different services in Lee at Laurel Lake as well.
Yeah, we have right down the road on Maple Avenue, we have Timberland Heights, who they're a 70-bed facility, and they specialize in neuro rehab type of care where brain injury, and they do a really good job with that. They're one of the few nursing homes in the region that actually can accept those folks and do it. They do a great job. And then we got our sister facility in Lee, Laurel Lake. They have an assisted living, and they have an 80-bed nursing home. And they do a fine job up there, and we all work together to provide community needs for the Southern Berkshire area.
Yeah, and I think Porchlight also works very well with the Laurel Lake group there as well. I know there's a butterfly launch, is that the right term for that? Upcoming August 17th, I believe.
That's right. With Laurel Lake, we're doing an event for the community where they can honor or represent somebody in their family. They would purchase a butterfly, and we're going to be having a barbecue, and then we'll have a butterfly release. So if they want to honor somebody by purchasing a butterfly, or if they want to memorialize somebody who's passed on and purchase a butterfly, then we will have this release of them all together. And it's really a beautiful, heartwarming event. And Laurel Lake is going to provide a barbecue at that time. So. Nice. That's going to be behind Lee Bank in Lee, and we're looking forward to doing that. We think it'll be a fun time for a lot of people.
And Kindred, Great Barrington, and Porchlight have been working very closely on some events as well, on a variety of levels, sort of the social informational events, and also on the clinical side for individuals who need additional credits to make sure their license is maintained and these types of things. So let's talk a little bit about that, because there's this relationship as far as making sure patients are getting the patient-centered care, but then there's also an opportunity for you two to pull resources and do things like this. So I think the first event is July 2nd. That's the next time that you'll be working together on an event.
Yeah, July 2nd, we have it's a Independence Day themed event, and we thought it'd be great if we could share with the public how Great Barrington was involved with the Revolutionary War. So Porchlight and Great Barrington are coming together to have a breakfast, a champagne breakfast, 8:30 in the morning on July 2nd. And we've got the Great Barrington Historical Society ready to come. We got a couple folks from there to come over and share stories about how Great Barrington participated in the Revolution and the independence of this country. And I know Holly and I are really excited about it, and we're just about to get the advertising out for that. Limited seating, so please call as soon as you see the number on the advertising, and we'll save you a seat.
Yeah, an 8:30 free breakfast, champagne breakfast. I think the tickets may go quick.
Yes.
Or the spots may go quick.
And
anyhow.
Then, in conjunction with that, we're having a CEU program. Additionally, where we'll be talking about the Massachusetts Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment, which is the new order to replace the DNR orders. It's a statewide venue that is going to take place, and some of the nursing homes in Massachusetts and in Berkshire County have already started to implement this process. So we wanted to make the public aware and the seniors aware of the ability to complete these forms, and we'll have a speaker that will be discussing that.
Okay, and that's not that same date, July 2nd. When will that be? That'll be later.
August 22nd.
August 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a little bit later in the summer.
summer.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Because that's something that people and families really need to know about when it comes to sort of changes in DNR and, that's do not resuscitate, right?
That's correct.
just to be clear about what that means, and families do have to deal with that on a regular basis through the years. So that, and also I know we're even working on a road race in Great Barrington, which I know will be a big hit. The event is August 24th.
Yes.
For that, an 8-miler, which is a unique distance. Now, Bill, you're a runner, and I know you ran the Steel Rail Marathon, and because I saw you out there.
Yes.
So this is really cool because I don't think Great Barrington really has a major sort of road race right now, and this would be a great opportunity, I think.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for Great Barrington, for the running community, and I believe Sheffield too. I think it's going to touch Sheffield.
A chunk of it goes into Sheffield, that's right.
And the neat thing that Holly and I haven't talked about yet, and is that we are both approved CNA trainers for the town of Great Barrington in southern Berkshire. So we have a classroom at Great Barrington that Porchlight and Kindred share, and we can have folks that want to get into healthcare through the CNA licensing program. We can train them, and actually Porchlight just completed the class today.
Yes, they got their certificates today at 12 noon, and they had a graduation ceremony, so that was exciting. We're, as an organization, the VNA and home care are very concerned about the employment status of people in Berkshire County.
Yes.
And so we became a certified nurse aid training program through the state, and so that's how we're regulated. And we just hired a new clinician to teach the course. Her name is Beth Frisella, and great lady, great nurse. Graduated, I believe, 10 people today. And so if people are looking to get into either changing a career or starting out a career, having this training program, the amount of time that they attend the class is not astronomical, so it's affordable. And so this road race that we're working on together with Kindred is going to raise monies to provide scholarships and fund the CNA program at Great Barrington Rehab, where we utilize the lab. So it's a great collaboration. Kindred and Bill have opened the facility to allow us to utilize that, and it's really been a great partnership, and we're really pleased with that.
Yeah, a couple things there. Holly talked about the opportunities, and both of you have worked in healthcare for a while and are in this today. And over the last several years, we've heard about the issues with the economy and difficulty for individuals finding jobs out there. It seems to me that one of the best areas of opportunity is in healthcare, and also in that sort of level of the CNA, because it seems to me, I look in the newspaper and I'm always seeing, not necessarily at your businesses, but always seeing opportunities for certified nursing assistants, and to me, that's also an area where there's an opportunity to grow for individuals who are interested in working beyond that level in healthcare.
Yeah, you're right, John. It's a very honorable profession, and when we see these, and like the class you just graduated, Holly, and these are fine-looking young people who you can tell take this very seriously, and they look great, and to come in and see these folks show up at the bedside, it just screams quality, and it puts one at ease when you know the caregiver is well trained and has quality business behind them, and that they present well. And certainly one can grow in the business. If you want to become a nurse, respiratory therapist, nurse practitioner, the sky's the limit. Or if one just wants, not just, but wants to remain at the bedside and make a career there, that's a great option as well.
Yeah,
So,
it's interesting that you raised that point, because I've seen in some of the finest facilities that and businesses that I have seen, there are individuals who are certified nursing assistants, and they've had that position for something like 30 years.
Yeah.
And that means that person truly loves what they're doing. And Holly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's a stepping stone too for people. If they're really not sure what they want to do, but they love people and they love caring for people, it's a great program to get into. And then it also puts them into the healthcare environment in a professional way. We have over 150 caregivers at that level that work in Porchlight home care, and there are eyes and our ears out in the community and in the people's homes, because they can spend anywhere from an hour to 24 hours, and also some of them live in the homes in the live-in program. So they really become extensions to the families and really help us focus on delivering that patient-centered care that we love to deliver, and that we're able to individualize based on a client's needs. So it opens doors for them when they get into this field. My daughter is a CNA also, and she works in the psychiatric field as a CNA. So you can specialize too. You can specialize as an Alzheimer's aide. You can specialize with cardiac patients. You could specialize with children or disabled, handicapped people. So there's many opportunities there to do the things that you enjoy most.
And you mentioned just immersing yourself in the healthcare world, because as someone who didn't come from healthcare originally, when I found myself in healthcare, there's a lot of jargon and there's a lot of things that you ultimately pick up on, but once you are in that world, you start to pick up on things very quickly. So having just that raw experience of being involved, it enables you to really grow. I think, whether it's learning all those different, initials for different things and so forth, and then learning that there are opportunities. I do believe there are great opportunities.
And because of the change in healthcare reimbursement, and because of people's need to want to stay in their own homes, home care is really expanding, especially the private pay area, where people are needing homemakers, companions, home health aides to either provide, assistance with their activities of daily living, which we refer to as ADLs.
That's right.
And that might mean personal care, shopping, transportation, any of those things. So because we're constantly growing, we're constantly hiring people and are in need of hiring these people. So once they come out of that training program, we can actually provide them with a job, and it's a flexible job, so it's good for moms, for dads, where we can work around their schedules and what they need. They can work evenings, nights, the same as in the facility at Kindred. They can work different shifts. So between the two of us, we're always, looking to employ those people and get them a career started.
And Bill, as far as Kindred Great Barrington, talk about the different sort of opportunities to go into different specializations, as far as a career, but also for your services, because you do provide a wide array of, I would suggest there's specialized services, from the rehab we talked about and how people end up back in their home, but there are also several other types of, you have a pulmonary service that I know you're very proud of, for instance, but there's a wide array, including that.
Yeah, there's Holly said it perfectly. Within healthcare, it casts a wide net, but there are specialties that everyone can find their way to that really would excite them. And I know we have a 33-bed skilled nursing unit that if like I described before, if somebody comes from the hospital and needs skilled nursing care with the hope of going home, the plan of going home, that unit, one of the things that we've grown into we've grown as a pulmonary program, some COPD, respiratory failure, and and that unit is staffed all by RNs. with the assessment skills taught to them to get their licensure to be able to look at these folks and make sure that their all the vital signs are accurate. If not, then we can act on that appropriately. And we have access to a respiratory therapist, and which is something else which is, I think, unusual for a nursing home, particularly in South Berkshire. We have a physician services 3 days a week. We have a nurse practitioner every Tuesday, and every Wednesday and Friday we have a physician. Our physician comes to check on these folks. So, so we're well suited for for our pulmonary program that we have. And you're right, John. That's something that our nurses get excited about, and something we, quite frankly, we do pretty well at. And those are things that Porchlight and Great Barrington can collaborate on and look for opportunities to get those folks home and get them back to their what they're used to in their house.
And I think, as a partner, what it does is help both of you sort of carve out different opportunities. So, for instance, if there are more patients who are going to go home after receiving pulmonary care, then Porchlight certainly would behoove them to be able to provide a level of good care for pulmonary patients and that sort of thing. So having these partnerships, and we say this quite a bit on this program, the value of partnerships, but it is so important in this day and age of the ACOs, the acute care centers, which people may not know about, but in healthcare we know about it, and the whole idea is make sure that people are not being sent back to the hospital before a certain short period of time, 30 days. And so that's critical. So to have a good relationship between the two of your organizations is beneficial for the entire community. Holly?
Yes, we actually have developed a process with Kindred to directly readmit someone back to the nursing home should they come home and for whatever reason they can't maintain themselves at home. Maybe they're still requiring that daily rehab, which you don't realize when they're there because they're in a controlled environment, and then they get into their own home and they seem to keep falling, and even with the home health aide and the rehab at home, something's not right. And so in order to prevent that rehospitalization, we would directly readmit them to the nursing home. Unless it was some, real acute care need, like a stroke or something, then that wouldn't be appropriate. We would have to send them back to the hospital. But in this case, in cases like this, we would definitely direct admit them back to the nursing home. So we're working together to decrease those rehospitalization rates. It's important that when you choose your partners, that you're choosing them wisely, that your outcomes are good, and that your rehospitalization rates are low. I know Porchlight's has been between 18 and 20%, and that could be maybe 1 or 2 patients going into the hospital, and that's below the state average, which is very good. Our nurses work very hard to make sure that if they identify a need, they're sending out our home visiting nurse practitioner. And on the COPD, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease diagnosis, all of our patients are put onto telemonitoring. And the telemonitoring is a device that they can take their blood pressure, their weight, their pulse, their oxygenation level, and they can monitor that from home. It comes right into the office, and it will alert us if there's a problem with the parameters that the physician has set that those numbers should fall between. And then we would call the patient, call the doctor, alert the nurse practitioner if she needed to make a visit, if it wasn't something that the nurse or therapist could address to keep that patient home. So there's a lot of new technology out there that we're able to utilize to help us keep them home. And we also have a contract with a respiratory therapist who can treat people at home, which would then again carry the care plan over from the skilled facility into the home.
Now, as we have a couple of minutes left, I want to make sure that we mention those particular events again that are on tap, because I think it's a great value to Southern Berkshire County to have things like the CEUs, credits for clinical individuals, to have it actually in Southern Berkshire County, in Great Barrington, with Porchlight and Kindred working together, and also, of course, the CNA program, which is now finished, but it was a great thing to mention. So August 22nd
Yes.
is that CEU program. That's one thing, and then there's July 2nd with the community event.
That's right.
So again, give us the rundown on that, Bill.
The community event on July 2nd will be an 8:30 breakfast. The Historical Society will send two of their members over to talk about Great Barrington and the Revolutionary War. And the talk will probably start about 9 o'clock, about 30 minutes. That'll be really, I think I'm really excited about that, and that's going to be really interesting. And then the August 22nd CEU program will be again, that'll be a breakfast. And we'll have CEUs available for nursing and social work.
Correct.
And there'll be one CEU will be rewarded for that program.
And that will be Bill Johnson speaking at that event?
Yeah,
is it- yes.
yeah,
Okay.
we're able to secure Bill Johnson, who was terrific, and it'll be the presentation will be well worth it. So.
Indeed, yes. how-
And John, the CNA program will start up again in September, will be the next course. So we offer those year-round, and the clinical site again is at Kindred.
Fantastic. And so people can log on to porchlighthomecare.org to check that out. And I know you have a website, Bill. I don't have it at the top of my head. What is that website?
Just if you put into your search engine Kindred Great Barrington, it'll come right to our website. And if you have any questions, you can email me through the website or give me a call.
Fantastic. Well, Bill Kittler, the administrator for Kindred Great Barrington Nursing and Rehabilitation, a pleasure having you on the
Thank you,
show.
John.
We'll definitely have to bring you back to talk more about these events that are upcoming. Of course, Holly Chaffee, the president and CEO of Porchlight. So the two of you keep up the good work together, and
you.
look forward to more. And this has been a presentation of Porchlight VNA and Home Care. I'm John Kroll. Have a great day.